What's up, guys? Finally getting that bug out bag video that I wanted to get out for like the past 3 weeks now. Um, Before I start, again, this is bug out bag / get home bag. A couple disclaimers. I'm not a survivalist. I'm not a master bushcrafter, anything like that. I've learned a lot just by doing my own research. I have a little bit of field work with, when I was in the military, I did a lot of camping and stuff like that, and practicing with some of these items with other friends and stuff like that. In Montana, in negative 10-degree weather and stuff like that. So I've actually field used some of these items. Others I have not used. I've just made sure that I wanted to have them on me. And so having said that, this isn't a how to use specific items video. This is going to be what I have in my bag, what I think that you should have in your bag, and really what multiple people have all come to a common consensus with is these are the items that you should have in your bag. No bug out bag is going to look identical because everybody lives in different locations, different geographic regions, different temperatures and climates, and so everybody's needs are different. So when I show you this stuff, don't think that, oh, these are the items I have to have, but they're a really good base and they're going to give you a good start, especially if you don't have anything and you're just trying to get into this. So first off, because it's a bug out bag video, why don't we start with the bag? So my bag, I have everything out of it right now. It's really hard to see everything, and that's why I just kind of have the video on me, and I'm going to grab the items individually. But I have everything laid out on my bed here and kind of grouped into different categories. So I'm just going to kind of pull the items up so that you can see what I'm talking about. But this is my bag. I have all the compartments open right now. I believe it's a Condor bag. So it's, I would say, like a mid-grade bag. It's not top of the line, but it's not cheap either. Some of the things that I love about this bag and that you should definitely look for in your bag is there's all kinds of straps, all kinds of different things that you can hang things off of, tighten with, make the bag fit to your body because you want it to fit tight. You don't want a whole lot of like loose, fitting type bag on you because it's going to get very uncomfortable over long periods of time if you don't have a bag that fits snugly on you. It has a spot in the back here where I can put a bladder. So I have my bladder hooked up here. So if you want to put water in it while you're walking, you have a way to, drink on the go. Tons of compartments, so I have tons of different pockets. I love the fact that it has all these different compartments. There's like 2 or 3 up here on the front, because when you're organizing your bag, you want to know where everything's at. You don't want to have to stop and like look through everything and pull everything out just to find what you needed on the bottom of your bag. So if you can have it compartmentalized, you can quickly find the things that you want. You can have like your water, your water purification in one spot, your fire in another spot, so on and so forth. So I really like this bag. The one thing that I will say I do not like about the bag is it screams. If you saw me out in the middle of a bad situation with this bag, it looks like a military bag. It looks like there's a lot of expensive, useful stuff in here. So I kind of stick out like a sore thumb and kind of bring attention to myself that I don't want to bring. So if you've ever heard of it, it's called a gray man bag. It's usually gray, black, something that's not that's more inconspicuous, that isn't going to bring a lot of attention to you. So that's the one thing I would say if I ever get a different bag, which I'm sure I will. I still have to get a bag for my wife and my son. I'm going to go more for not so military, like this. So that's the bag. Anything really, it works for you. It also has it has like a waist strap to keep it tight around your waist, and it also has some like comfort padding in the back so that it's comfortable when you're walking long distances. You want something that's going to fit, not just snug and tight, but also it's going to be comfortable for you, because over time it's not going to be very comfortable. So if you can kind of fix that, that's ideal. So the first thing I'll talk about is water. So I'm going to show you 2 different systems here. Again, I'm not showing you how to use them. This is my recommendation. This is a Catadine water filter. This is basically, you're gonna have one end of the pump in your contaminated source, so like a stream, and then the other is gonna go in your non-contaminated source, so like a water bottle or whatever it is that you're putting water in. And basically it's a pump system, so you pump the water out, it pumps it into a clean source, and you have clean drinking water. A little bit longer to use, so the reason I say that is you can have something like this, which is a Sawyer mini filter, a little bag that you can squeeze the water into if you want, but ultimately it has a straw, so you put the straw in the Sawyer mini filter and you can literally go up to the stream and drink out of it if you wanted to. The reason I'm showing you this is because it's fast. If you're on the go, you don't want to take too much time, you just want to get a quick drink, whatever it is. This is a great filter here. I don't know what I think it's 1,000 gallons or something like that. But it's quite a bit, and this is just great. It's just really fast. Filter water, you do not want to drink from a stream. If you get bacteria or parasite or whatever in your system and you get dehydrated or diarrhea, it's going to be bad news. Like, you're probably not going to make it unless you get medical attention. So always make sure you have the ability to filter water. Probably the most important thing is having clean water. You're going to be drinking a lot of it. If you're bugging out, like truly bugging out, and you're like trying to get home or whatever it is, you're going to be using a lot of calories and you're going to get really tired if you don't have water. So water. Also, next I would say the next category would be food. So I have obviously ways to create fire, which is the most important. You want to be able to create fire, not just for food, but also to keep warm or for whatever, if you're trying to make a signal fire, whatever it is that you need. Fire is extremely important. So just in my bag alone, I have dryer lint, super flammable. It's in a little pill bottle. I think they're windproof matches, so. And then you got your striker on the side. And then also I have one of these, it's called Survive. Basically there's a little bit of fuel in here, I think it's butane. And this match right here comes out like so. And there's a little wick basically on the end. So this gets covered in like, you know, fuel. And then you have your striker on the side. And you just run it down the side and you've got a little match. So it's just another way to make fire. I would also recommend having like just a big lighter in your bag. And with the concept of fire, I have a little camping cookware set. So essentially just something to be able to cook on. It's used, you've got your butane right here, so your fuel. And then your igniter is in here. It's a little stand / igniter. So it's all compact, easy to pack up. And so that's if you want something that it's a little bit easier. You're not gonna have to create a fire or anything like that. It's a little bit faster too. So it's a little bit more like insurance almost, like I would say. So if you're not able, it's really windy for whatever reason, you can't make a fire, it's gonna be really useful to have something like a little cookware set. To be able to cook from. And with that, make sure you have utensils. So I got my little spork here, some more utensils inside of here, and then if I'm cooking anything like pasta or soup, whatever. So just different utensils to be able to eat with. And so that's what I have for food and water. I also have Mountain House. So I typically keep 3 of these because again, a bug out bag is supposed to be for 24 to 72 hours, so 1 to 3 days. And so, like I said, 3 is ideal for me just because maybe 1 a day. Plus you have maybe some snacks and stuff like that, but Mountain House is a really good one. Basically you just need water with this. 25-year shelf life, really great. Also Patriot Pantry, another one that I've bought before, same thing. And then I have these emergency drinking waters. I don't put too many because obviously the more you have, water's pretty heavy. So I think I have like 3 in my bag. Just a really quick source if I need water and I don't have time to stop. Have those. So, all right. So we talked about water filtration, fire, food, the ability to cook food or the ability to cook food through fire. Also very important is some type of shelter. So for me, I have 2 different. I have one of these Del Mara, just a 2-person tent. Nothing special, but it's cover. So if it's raining or whatever, it'll keep me out of some of the elements. And I also have, it's like a pop-up. I don't have it here with me, but it's in my closet. But it's like a pop-up tent almost. Essentially, it just has a base to it and then like a mosquito netting. So it's only for 1 person, but it's really nice because it just literally like you open it up and it pops open. So and a couple folds and it's put away and it just clips onto your bag. So super fast. You don't have to take however long to set up a tent. These are really quick ways to have some shelter. And then I also have Mylar little thermal blankets. These keep like 90% of your body heat in. So again, if you're in a cold climate like Montana, Vermont, upstate New York, whatever, you're gonna wanna be able to keep warm. So this was more for when I was in Maryland. However, it still can get pretty cold in Florida in the winter, you know, upper 30s, low 40s, which is still cold enough that you'll wanna have some extra abilities to keep warm. So Mylar blankets, really useful to use. And then I kind of go more into hygiene. So the ability to, you know, not necessarily keep clean, because if you're out in the woods or whatever, you're not going to be able to do showers or anything like that. But just small things to, you know, be able to keep yourself feeling a little bit better, like a toothbrush. So different utensils to clean your teeth, toothbrush, toothpaste, obviously, some floss, and then just ability to wash. So, you know, I have these smaller, like Old Spice Swagger from one of the, some shampoo from a hotel, and then just like a speed stick, just something to put on deodorant, just to make yourself feel a little bit better. Obviously, you know how nasty you can get after a day of not showering, let alone if you're walking through the woods and sweating and all that stuff. So you're not going to feel too great, and just the ability to be able to feel a little bit better and keep clean and keep away, you know, sickness and all that kind of stuff is really useful. Also, these aren't mitts. These, if you wet it with just a little bit of water, they expand, and it's essentially toilet paper. So if you know, you're not going to really want to use leaves or anything like that if you have to go to the bathroom. So these are going to be great. They're small. You can carry a ton of them. Like I have a whole handful of them in my bag, and it'll feel like $1,000,000. Like if you have to go number 2, and you have something to actually wipe yourself with. Not like completely essential, but you know, when I was thinking about it, you're gonna feel so much better having something like that. So I have those in my bag as well. And essentially I have all of those items wrapped in it's like, they call it a schmog. So something to be able to, you know, put around your head as well. So not only does it keep everything together, all my, you know, sanitary items, but I can use it to, you know, wrap my head or put whatever. If it's really sunny and I want to keep the sun out of my eyes or off beating down on my head, I have that for that as well. Another item you're definitely going to want in your bag is paracord. And I also have some zip ties also in here. Paracord can be used for anything. So hanging stuff off your bag, hanging stuff off your person, you know, making a makeshift tent, just, you know, resealing something that has ripped, anything, you know, that you can think of. Paracord is going to be able to do so many different things. I mean, you can look up the different uses for paracord, but that is definitely something that every bag should have is paracord. I suggest at least 25 feet in your bag. And then another item that I have in here is a bushcrafting you're not going to remember how to do everything. And even some of the best survivalists don't know everything. And so there's a ton of things in here explaining how to do certain things with pictures, complete explanations, step by step. So this is super useful to have. You're not going to have your YouTube and your phone to be able to look this stuff up. And if you don't know this stuff like the back of your hand, you're going to want some help. And this is a great way to get some help. And that's a really good book. It's one of the highest rated books that you can probably buy. And so I've read this book. However, there's so much in here that I don't remember it all. So having it in my bag to just create knots and different things like that and create fire, it's just a really useful thing to have. So I suggest something to help guide you. So Bushcraft 101. Another thing I have in here is, I don't know about you, but if I have to kill or catch my food, killing a deer or a squirrel or rabbit isn't going to be nearly as easy as killing, or not killing, but catching like a fish. And so I would much rather have a fish and have that as my food than having to catch and find a rabbit or whatever that I have to find. So this is Survival Fishing Kit Uncle Flint's. It's essentially just in a Altoid can, and it's got everything you need, from like your bobbers to your hooks, your weights, sinkers, all that good stuff. So everything you need to catch fish, right here. Real tiny. Another reason I love it is because it's small. It fits really easily in your bag, and everything's nice and organized and together. So that's another great item to have. Next item, first aid kit. This is not a first aid kit. Well, it is, but this is a boo-boo kit. Is it better than nothing? Yeah, it's better than nothing. Cuts, bruises, scrapes, bug bites, burns, stuff like that. It's all in here. So it's good, it's useful to use. This is not the first aid kit that I plan on having for my long term. I want something that's more, tourniquet, chest seal, quick clot, all that stuff. That's something that's on my agenda as one of my, my wish list of things that I want to buy. But for now, a little first aid kit is better than nothing. So the reason I'm showing you this is because, again, first aid is a huge part of your bug out bag. So again, we've got water, we've got fire, we've got cooking, we've got a first aid kit, we've got sanitation, we have shelter, and then obviously I showed you some of the miscellaneous items. Another huge item that you have to have is the ability to cut, so knife. I had a K-bar, and that Catadine water filter is actually brand new. Both of those items, my original Catadine water filter and my K-bar, which I had professionally sharpened, which was like the sharpest knife I've ever seen in my life, was stolen from my bag. I'm pretty sure I know who did it, but it's whatever. Life goes on. So I had to replace those items, so I bought another Catadine water filter, and then I got this SE knife. Has a pretty nice sheath. It also has a belt clip, so I can put this on my belt. Haven't used this yet, but this is one of the highest rated, survival knives that you can buy. I think the SE5. So excited to be able to finally use this one day, but I would rather have it than not need it. You know what I mean? Than need it and not have it. So a knife or some type of cutting tool, extremely important. You're gonna want something like that. Also, flashlight, the ability for light. If you're out in the woods, you're out on a highway and all the lights are out because you just got EMP'd or whatever the scenario is, it's going to be pitch black, you're not going to be able to see anything. So flashlights, you're going to want flashlights on your person. I have two here, and then also flashlights require batteries, so having some AA's and some AAA batteries in your bag in case the batteries go out. Also, a form of communication. So obviously your phone is ideal, but if the towers are out, your phone's dead, whatever the reason, the next best thing on the go would be a radio. So this thing's pretty cool because it has several different ways that you can charge the radio. You've got USB, one of your typical like iPhone charger type ports. Then you've also got your solar right here. So if I just hung this like another here, a perfect example, I could grab my paracord, wrap it around, tie it to my bag, and then keep it outside of my bag in the sunlight, and over time it would charge it. It also has a crank handle right here, so you can crank it to charge it, and then a different light source here, another light source here. This one has a siren and an LED light and a lamp. So different uses there. But yeah, mainly I have this for the radio portion. If something bad happens, you're gonna want to listen to the radio and see what's going on, not just in the world, but maybe in your area. So you have a better idea of what's happening. Then aside from that, another huge item that you're gonna want that I'm not really showing on here, but you're gonna want a firearm. So you're gonna want something to protect yourself. And so that would be another huge item that you're gonna wanna have in your bag. And then some type of clothing. So really, I wouldn't suggest putting a ton of clothes in your bag, maybe an extra shirt or two, but more so undergarments. So in my bag, I have an extra 3 pairs of socks. If they get wet, you're not gonna wanna walk around in wet socks. And so ability to change my socks, ability to change like my underwear or my, boxer briefs, whatever you wear. So I have a couple pairs of that. And then I also have just a pair of like light gloves. If it is colder, keep your hands warm. Also kind of protect your hands. So I have these just easy, lightweight gloves. And then I also have like a raincoat. And so that's not just for myself, but more so I actually put it in my bag for my bag. So if it's raining out, although I have little inlets in my bag to drain water, I would prefer not to get all my stuff wet. So I can kind of throw that over like a tarp, and it'll kind of shield my bag from getting soaking wet. So that's another item that I have in my bag. And that's really it. Those are the items that I have. Again, my wife and my son do not have a bag yet, so the bag, when I pack everything in there, there's still a ton of room. And so now I have the ability, if I want to put more stuff in there for my son, for my wife, I have that freedom to do that. But again, over time, on top of a first aid kit, I also want to get more bags for them, so they have their own specific bags for themselves that are tailored just for them. Right now, a lot of the items that I have in my bag are for everybody. So the ability to filter water for everybody, the ability to cook food for everybody, the ability to cut and have, fire and stuff like that for everybody. So my bag isn't really tailored towards just me, it's tailored toward my whole family. In an ideal situation, bugging out is my last resort. You hear people talk about, like, oh, if the SHTF happens, I'm gonna bug out to the woods. Like, no, you're not. Even survivalists aren't gonna survive out there for too long. You really don't want to bug out unless you absolutely have to. And so the idea between a bug out bag is to have something that you can grab on the go. You don't have to worry about what to pack. Everything's already packed. You really grab the bag and go. That's why they call it a get home bag or a bug out bag. So that's really what the whole purpose of the bug out bag is. This is something you should have packed, ready to go. So this isn't something you should be, if you're working on it, that's fine to add more items to it, but try to keep as much of the stuff that you have in your bag. Don't touch it, don't take stuff out of it. If you do, make sure you put it right back. And so that's the whole purpose of the bag. So again, ideally I'm bugging in my house. I would like to stay in my house as long as I humanly possibly can. There's, it's kind of priceless to have, a hard shelter and, an escape from the elements and, walls to protect you and stuff like that, you're just not going to have if you're bugging out. So that's really it. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, if you have you want some recommendations of specific brands or anything like that, definitely comment below. If you have any questions about anything, please comment below. Again, this wasn't meant to show you how to use anything, or it was just more of the things that you should really have on your person, in your bag, to put you more prepared than 90+ 90+% of the population is going to be. Most people don't take these precautions in mind, and they're going to be in a world of pain, whereas you won't be if you have the right preparation. Is it perfect? No. Is this a one size fits all where everything's taken care of and you don't have anything to worry about? No, it's not. There's certain things that I don't have in my bag that I need. There's certain things that I would like to have that would make things a lot better for not just me but my whole family. But you know, if you have some of these items, you're going to be, like I said, in a much better spot. So having said that, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or comments, please comment below. If you have any recommendations, again, I always love recommendations. I'm always still trying to learn myself, so I don't know everything, and there's still a lot that I need to learn. So that's kind of the idea of this channel, is we're learning together and we're trying to get better and more prepared together. So appreciate you guys. Take care.